on Impact with Scott D'Amore.
You know, from the very outset, it's been said the X Division, it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. And that statement's never been more true than it is today. At Bound for Glory, Mike Bailey's history-making championship reign was ended when Frankie Kazarian decided he was gonna make a little history of his own by becoming a 5-time X Division champion and the first ever individual to hold that championship in 3 different decades. But then, last week, Frankie shocked the world, and honestly myself, when he announced he was gonna exercise Option C to challenge for the Impact World Championship. And tonight, we're gonna make that official. So at this time, please join me in welcoming the X Division champion, Frankie Kazarian.
In the last decade, 6 men have chosen to exercise Option C and challenge for the Impact World Championship. Only 3 have been successful. This is a calculated gamble by Frankie Kazarian to get to a championship he has never held before here in Impact Wrestling.
And if you're wondering why, so fresh off that historic X Division title win, well, Tom, I think you almost just answered it. I can't wait to hear more from Frankie himself. But as soon as he won that, you know he had designs on Josh Alexander and the World Championship.
You know, Frankie, I have no doubt that you put great thought and consideration into your decision to exercise Option C. But before we make that official, I want you to understand one thing. There's no turning back. Frankie, if you hand me that championship belt, you will have your shot at the Impact World's Championship, but also the X Division Championship is immediately vacated. And we'll start an 8-person tournament to crown a new champion. And that tournament will culminate November 18th at Overdrive, the very same night that you'll challenge Josh Alexander for the Impact World's Championship. So Frankie, we go back a long way, a lot of history, and damn it, we're family. So I want to know, I want to ask, are you sure this is what you want to do?
Scott, I have never been more certain about anything in my life. And I'll explain why to you and everybody here. March 31st, 2004, I won my first X Division title. It's a long time ago, folks. But that meant the world to me because at that point, I realized that I had arrived. I realized that I was going to be a player in the professional wrestling industry. But I'll say this, winning the title at Bound for Glory against a fighting champion, the caliber of Speedball Mike Bailey, a guy I consider one of the best on the planet right now. This title reign is just as special to me as my very first. However, the minute I won that title, this phrase began dancing around in my head, this phrase, Option C. So I started to think back and reflect of all my accomplishments and all my failures. And I thought about Option C, and I thought about how long I have loved professional wrestling and how often professional wrestling has not loved me back. And that's fine. You know, I am owed nothing. This business has given me more than I could have ever imagined. The places I've gone, the people I've met, the things I have done. But the most important thing this business has given me is my beautiful wife, Tracy Brooks, and our son, Rebel. And all of that is because of Impact Wrestling. All the sacrifices, all the time away from home, all the surgeries, it's all worth it because everything I do in this ring, I do for them. I really do love you guys. Thank you for that. So I began thinking about how proud that they are of me, which made me realize something that I'm just not that proud of myself. I mean, am I happy for all my accomplishments? Absolutely. Am I fulfilled? Absolutely not. You know why? Because I have never won the big one. I have never been world champion. And every day of my life, that eats at the pit of my stomach. I look at the list of men who have worn the Impact Wrestling World title, and I see my friends, my peers. I see men like AJ Styles. I see men like Samoa Joe. I see men like Kurt Angle. But then, damn it, I look at that same list and I see the names of men that I know without a shadow of a doubt I am better than. And still, I never won the Impact Wrestling World title. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. So having said that, all the blood that I have shed, all the sweat that I have poured, and all the tears that I have cried will all be for nothing if I don't become Impact Wrestling World Champion. That is why I am relinquishing the X Division title. That is why I am choosing option C, and that is why I swear to God I will do it.
Oh, it's Steve Macklin assaulting Kazarian.
Macklin unloading on the former X Division champion.
And listen, of all the people we were expecting to confront Josh Alexander last week after his title defense against Bobby Fish, we thought Bully Ray, we thought Moose, we sure thought Steve Macklin.
100%. You have to imagine Macklin is none too pleased to see another person line up for a shot at the world title.
Oh, Kazarian caught in the crosshairs.
Macklin's felt overlooked for far too long.
Oh, wait a minute. There's the Impact World Champion, Josh Alexander, running off Macklin. Josh Alexander protecting Frankie Kazarian is now #1 contender.
And you have to imagine this is not the moment Frankie Kazarian thought he was going to have after exercising option C out here tonight.
Macklin making his intentions crystal clear.
Oh, yeah.
But it comes down to this. Friday, November 18th in Louisville, Kentucky. Live on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for Ultimate Insiders. Alexander and Kazarian for the Impact World title at Overdrive.